we're talking about the fans cheering. You don't know what you're doing. As a manager, how aware of the fans are you actually during the game, and do they actually influence your decision? So, I'm thinking back to Millwall as an example when you were you had this young sort of wonder kid, Roman Essay, and as he's warming up, the touchline, the fans would be chanting his name. Did that used to sort of encourage you to make the substitution? How sort of aware of that are you?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Romain, you didn't need encouragement because he was such a young talent, and obviously he was one that, he's one of those young. Zach Lovelace was another that, another good top young player that we brought through at Millwall. They've got some really good talent in the academy, and the likes of Nuge coaching there, brought some brilliant players through. So yeah, you're aware of it, but it doesn't really shape how you feel. I think when it's funny because when it's amazing, I felt the same as a player, but sometimes you can have 20,000 fans, singing, and all you would hear was you would hear kind of like a positive feeling in the crowd. You wouldn't necessarily hear what those words were. As a manager, it's slightly different. You can hear, you can hear a lot of those moments where the fans will chant or the fans will sing a song that's positive or a song that's negative. You do hear those moments. And they are tough as a manager. I've got to be honest, they are tough as a manager. People think, oh, why would you even bother about that? But when, tell me someone who, if there's not 16,000 people singing a derogatory song about you, you're not going to be slightly affected. Yeah, it's not a nice feeling. I don't care what anybody says, but of course in management, you learn that's a part of the job. And you also accept, but that's not necessarily everyone's opinion. It's such a tribal mentality, isn't it? One person sings, thousands of people sing. So there's been probably sporadic moments where, maybe the crowd are singing, and you're thinking about making a sub, and maybe that just encourages you to make that sub quicker. You think, you know what, I'll just get him on, just get him on. So they probably do shape one or two of the decisions, but overall, I think you have to be strong enough as a manager to make your own decisions and live in because sometimes if you start making those decisions shaped by the fans, you're probably going to get criticised anyway if you lose. So therefore, you're better off just going with what you think is the right thing, and damned if you do, damned if you don't. But yeah, you are aware of it, and it can be such a. I think this is the important bit. It can be such a positive thing. That atmosphere is far more positive than even the fans think it is. So at places like Millwall, when the fans get behind the team, if you're 1-0 down at 60 minutes and the fans get behind the team, that has such an amazing feeling on the fan. The players come in afterwards and talk about it. Yeah. The players come in at half time and are aware of it. And the flip side is if that's negative, sometimes that can frustrate and inhibit the players a little bit. So it is so important. But of course, in football, that's part and parcel of dealing with the pressure.